I was just up in Seattle. There are some people up there who think this is going to be Richard Sherman's last year with the team, whether they win the Super Bowl or whether they fall short, that this could be it. Do you see that? I mean, them parting with a player this good at such a valued position, could he be gone?
I did sit down with Richard and have a meal a couple weeks ago up in Seattle, and, he's in a much better place than he was when last season ended. It was a trying season for him in a lot of ways, and certainly they dangled him in trade talks, though they wanted a lot. And Richard told me, I never believed any team was going to pay what they were asking. And he said, listen, if you knew how many guys they'd talked about trading over the years and it never happened, you'd be stunned. But his larger point to me was, we don't do things conventionally. We have a much different style of inter-team relations than anywhere else. And you may look at us from the outside, not understand it, and think it's dysfunctional or weird. But the teams you probably think do it right probably haven't been doing what we've done the last few years. So Pete Carroll gives them a lot of opportunity to be themselves, to express themselves. And I guess I would just say this. Normally this could be a real awkward situation. Richard Sherman showed back up. They're in a better place. Everything's fine. And I think they will bond together and compete the way they always have. Now, Jeff, my caveat is if things start to go bad early, there is a real potential for this thing to unravel.
Yeah, and let's face it, we all know that Pete Carroll feeds, and this team feeds off this kind of drama, controversy, whatever you want to call it. They try to create that kind of atmosphere where people can be themselves, and that locker room is unlike any other in the NFL. There's no question.
That's true.
The personalities.
That's a true point.
The bigger issue I see here is that they are going from a team that has relied so much on its defense to be championship caliber to a team that's going to have to rely on its quarterback to be championship caliber.
Yeah.
And when you begin to make that move, that to me is where someone like Richard Sherman becomes expendable, because it's no secret that there have been issues there with Russell Wilson. Sherman's have been more publicly discussed lately, but there's been a lot of people in that locker room who've had issues with him as far as his personality and the way he carries himself and whether he's a fraud or not. Pete Carroll's got to nip that in the bud if he wants to keep winning games and competing for championships, because this team going forward is going to be about Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I want to get back to that, but one thing, and again, I was just up there and I spoke to some folks with the Seahawks, and we talk about this tension of this locker room. They said that was intentional. When this staff first got to Seattle, they saw a team of, okay, these guys are okay, but they're all good guys. They need an edge. So I was told that they purposely went out and got players with an edge, with their own individual personalities that they knew could compete at a high level like they've competed at the past couple of years. The thing that they've really got to manage more than anything now, and this is what was said to me, is other individuals respecting other individuals' individualism.